Então o Syfy me trouxe aqui para conversar com Steven Moffat e Peter Capaldi, os protagonistas dessa história maravilhosa que é o Doctor Who. Peter, you are a big fan of Doctor Who, right?
Yeah.
Is that a pressure or an advantage?
I think it's an advantage because there are times when we're running against the clock and we don't know, well, you know, we have to get a lot of work done during the day and we don't have enough time to think really about the show. One of the problems of working on a schedule like ours is there's enough time to think. And if you're very familiar with the show, as I am, and if you have it in your heart and in your bones, then I think you can draw upon that. So that I've always got an extra level of energy that I can bring to it. So it is an advantage, I think. Yeah.
Steven, over 50 years of a show running, how do you manage this legacy of the show and put it in nowadays to make it current? You use a lot of new stuff in the show, right? Like this is the new Sonic 2, right? You use it, right? How do you manage to do that? And what characters of fiction do you think you would like to participate in Doctor Who?
Well, I mean, the great thing about Doctor Who is its actual format is very small. It's just the Doctor, the TARDIS, time travel, and space travel. That's it. You're sorted. So you can update everything very, very easily. I mean, people make a big fuss about Sonic sunglasses, but you know, those are people who don't know how short the Sonic Screwdriver's run was actually in the original series. I mean, there's several of the Doctors didn't have them at all, and you have to be ready to do anything radical. And even if sometimes maybe fans who are like me don't like change, you have to say, if you don't like change, you're not going to like Doctor Who that much because we change everything all the time. Everything has to be up for grabs. So that's how you do it. What other fictional characters would like to bring into Doctor Who? Well, I think the Doctor is dominant enough without bringing other ones in.
Excellent shades.
Cool. They're mine shades. Yeah, I've used them for some years now. In the 9th season, we had 2 very special moments that made instant classic episodes. The first one is the Zygon version, where you give that marvelous speech, and then when we spent the whole episode alone in Hellbent. How did you prepare for that, and how is the responsibility about that?
Well, the Zygon speech is a fabulous speech, which I think Stephen had a great hand in writing, as well as Peter Harness, who did the episode. You just suddenly have this, well, you just look at it and go, this is wonderful. Oh, there are more pages, there are more pages, there are more pages. How am I ever going to remember all of this? Because the best way to try and do it is to have it in your head and not have to be worrying about remembering the lines. So that takes a lot of just basically sitting at the table, getting it into your head. But it was a thrill to do. And funnily enough, I remember the day that we did that big long speech, the war speech, the American ambassador to the UK happened to be visiting the set, which was really strange. And I know that they were all gathered around the monitor watching this. And the first time I did it, I had a round of applause, which was really nice, which was from the ambassador and his team, who weren't used to being on a set and knew that they should have stayed quiet and not spoiled our take. So you just prepare for that by trying to learn it. The Heaven Sent was an absolute delight, but it's a strange kind of challenge because you're on your own. Usually, as an actor, you can prepare, but usually nothing really comes to life until the other actors are there, because everybody always does their lines in a completely different way from the way you would have anticipated them doing it. But there wasn't anybody else around. It was just me. So I thought, oh, God, that's at least 50% of the stimulus gone. It's just me, and I can't think of very much to do here. But I was surrounded by, I had an absolutely wonderful script from Stephen and a genius idea and a fabulous director in Rachel Talali and a very, very great crew, the usual crew that we have working on Doctor Who, and we built this thing together. That was the great warm memory I will have of it, is that we all made this very, very special episode together.
I read a theory on the internet, a fan theory, some time ago, explaining why the Doctor and the Time Lords always meet in chronological order. Why do you think is that?
because it's a television show and it'd be really confusing if we did it any other way. They don't actually always meet in the right order. There are occasions when they meet out of sequence. I think one is narrative necessity. It would be horribly difficult if we tried to always do it out of sequence. But I think the one thing I'm confident of is you could not accuse me of not doing enough out of sequence storytelling. God knows I've done a lot of that.
By the way, the reason they say in the theory is because of the eye of the harmony. It makes the Doctor and everyone like grow in the same place. Some of the best moments on the last season is when the Doctor plays the guitar. How did you get this idea, and do you still play very often?
I play the guitar a little bit, and I just happened to, between seasons. I think I put a little email together just with odd ideas that I thought might be interesting, and I didn't really think for a minute that anybody would particularly go with it. But Stephen decided, thankfully, that might be fun to do that. And of course, he wrote this wonderful entrance of the Doctor on a tank, coming in playing the guitar, which I immediately said that won't work. I said, that's terrible. I can't. I'm not doing that. That's so wrong in every possible way. And all anybody ever says to me when I meet them is, "Wow, that was a fabulous entrance you had on that tank with a guitar." So what do I know?
So you are the one who plays the guitar in the intro.
I play it, but then when I watch it on the show, there's some shredding comes on, which isn't me. Sometimes it's bits of me, and sometimes it's somebody else. I don't know who it is that comes and does it. They're better than me.
Are you already thinking about your post-Doctor Who life? Because this is your last year as a showrunner, right?
A bit, but it's not for a while. I mean, I'm in the job for quite a long while. It's almost a year, really. So I mostly think about holidays, I think. I haven't really thought about what I'll write next, but what I'm sort of looking forward to really is having the freedom not to turn everything down, which is what I do at the moment. For years, I've just said, well, I can't do that because I'm busy, and just I could write a play, I could do something different. Is what I'm looking forward to. I mean, I love Doctor Who and Sherlock more than anything else I've ever done, and I know I always will. But just having the freedom to do something else would be nice.
If you would like to take a holidays in Brazil, we are there, man. Just go there. No? Cool. I'm a filmmaker. I'm a filmmaker in Brazil, and I have a question for you. Do you think my main character in my movie has to turn into a cockroach so I can win an Oscar?
Well, that's a great idea, but it's not my idea. I think it was someone called Franz Kafka came up with that idea, and I'm sure you're referring to the good fortune I had to win an Oscar for a short film. I didn't even know they gave Oscars for short film, and nobody else does either. So that was great fun. Yeah. And so, what kind of have you written full-length scripts or short scripts?
Yeah, it's feature films I do mostly. Yes.
Okay. And how's that going? Have you had any made yet, or?
That's going good. Now I'm hosting a TV show there in Syfy channel that I make movies.
Well, that's true, but you've got to do everything. I mean, the reason I made that little film was because I was very interested in this process and wanted to have a go at doing it. So you're doing the right thing. You've got to be in the business and meeting people and keep faith in your ideas, and I'm sure that it'll all work out. Look at Stephen.
Thank you very much, Peter. Thank you very much, Stephen.
It's our pleasure. Thank you very much, and thank you all about Brazil too.
Yes, thank you very much. That's very wonderful.